이제 다 끝났어. 나랑 같이 가자.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most unnerving details that are set to make the sequel to Squid Game creepier than the original.
456번. 게임에 돌아온 걸 환영하네.
Number 10, Young-hee's boyfriend.
야, 저 뭐냐? 존나 이상하게 생겼네. 씨발 대가리 존나 크다.
The murderous animatronic doll ruling over red light, green light has become a striking visual representation of the show. Accordingly, one of the most anticipated yet feared additions to season 2 has to be her boyfriend Cheol-su. Originally characters from South Korean children's educational books, these two were pretty much always paired together. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume that Cheol-su will do whatever it takes to make Young-hee happy, especially with a license to kill. That probably means that even if the she-monster misses a target, you can rest assured that her partner in crime will sweep in. Number 9, Gi-hun's burden.
지금 이러면 안 됩니다. 지금 당장 여기서 나가야 됩니다.
The audience of Squid Game let out a collective exasperated sigh when Gi-hun decided to go back for another game at the end of season 1. As we expected, he hopes to make a change this time around and possibly end the battle royale for good. However, this noble cause will not come without its own set of challenges.
다시 게임을 하게 해줘.
For starters, his attempts at stopping the deadly matches will mostly probably be seen as a strategy to secure his own win, throwing him in the line of fire. With haunting knowledge of the outcome, Gi-hun will relive the grimmest moments of his life. However, he is the audience surrogate now, and his burden is also ours to bear.
이러다 정말 다 죽어요.
Number 8, the gambler's fallacy.
뭐했어? 오늘 우리 딸 생일. 요즘 노인네가 나보다 손녀를 더 끔찍히 챙긴다니까.
You know what Gi-hun has absolutely no dearth of? The audacity. Perhaps the biggest mistake he makes, even worse than rejoining the game, is thinking he can predict it this time around. It is entirely rigged, after all, and might end up trapping him for good, perhaps like the frontman, who was once a winner. When the only rule is to make death and despair entertaining for the head honchos, anything goes. Even if there is any semblance of familiarity in the games for Gi-hun to have a considerable advantage, it is more likely than not to be misleading. Nevertheless, if there's anything our hero loves, it's a good gamble. And who are we to take it away from him? Number 7, the metaphor of violence.
첫 번째 게임을 통과한 참가자 여러분, 진심으로.
It is no news that Squid Game can be excessively violent, and has even been criticized for its gratuitous nature. However, director Hwang Dong-hyuk has said he employs the violence as a metaphor for the cruelty of the real world, satirizing the ruthlessness of a capitalistic society towards the so-called weak.
나가면 뭐가 달라? 어차피 나가도 생 지옥이야, 씨발.
The fictional playground is nothing but a microcosm, reflecting the reality outside. The social commentary will continue in season 2, and in the showrunner's own words, gets, quote, crazy. Why? Because society, in his eyes, has descended further into darkness. So, expect the brutality of the series to follow suit, directly in proportion to how Hwang sees the world.
난 어차피 집도 없어. 여기서 희망이라도 있지. 나가면 아무것도 없어.
Number 6, divide and rule.
나도 끼워줘요. 같은 편에.
우리가 왜?
In season 1, we saw groupism as both a strength and weakness for contestants. This time, the show makes it a point to highlight its divisive nature by incorporating more team games into the mix. That means greater politics and tense psychological warfare await us.
선생님, 혹시 팀을 정하셨나요?
아니요.
그럼 저랑 같이 하시죠. 팀이 있습니다.
In fact, Song Gi-hun actor Lee Jung-jae describes the new season's challenges as, quote, warlike, while showrunner and director Hwang wanted to explore how people's choices, quote, decide which side we end up on. Games that test our contestants' nerves and coerce them into manipulating one another abound, and we're not sure if we're more excited or terrified to watch it all go down.
아쉽네. 니들은 내 손으로 죽이고 싶었는데.
Number 5. The cruelty of choice.
더 큰 상금을 위해 게임을 계속할지 아니면 여기서 중단할지는 전적으로 여러분 결정에 달려 있습니다.
Where there are teams, there will be choices, whether you like it or not. Allies can turn into enemies and opponents into lifesavers at any given moment. To make matters even more complicated, Season 2 will strongly feature voting as a key component of the game.
여러분 앞을 보시면 두 개의 버튼이 있습니다. 게임의 속행을 원하시면 초록색 동그라미 버튼을, 중계를 원하시면 빨간색 X 버튼을 눌러주시면 됩니다.
However, it will strip away the safety of anonymity and put the players on blast. Tudum by Netflix reports that contestants will have to wear X and O symbols on them to represent their stance on a controversial topic. Scrutiny and public execution are sure to follow, and we can bet it will not be pretty.
제발 이런 데들 좀 마세요. 집에 가야죠.
Number 4. Betrayal makes the heart grow fonder.
그럼 자네가 날 속이고 내 굿을 가져간 건 말이 되고?
As if Squid Game Season 1 wasn't traumatizing enough, Season 2 is set to tug at your heartstrings even harder. Some facts revealed by South Korean media outlets about the new player lineup are already crushing our souls. A mother-son duo, two star-crossed lovers, and even Gi-hun's friend Jung-bae, played by Lee So-hwan, will be throwing their hats into the ring.
엄마, 가만 둬면 다 갖고도 남아.
Unless Gi-hun is able to revolutionize the bunch, one half of every twosome may be left behind. Or worse, offed. We'll either be shedding tears at devastating sacrifices or cursing at our screens for vile backstabbing. Or maybe both. There's just no winning in Squid Game. Number 3. All or nothing.
그런 놈이 여길 왜 다시 기어들어와? 한 판 더! 한 판 더! 한 판 더!
Gi-hun's confidence may be misguided, but that doesn't make him any less brave. He's fully aware that re-entering the Squid arena means he either has to dismantle the system brick by brick or die. If he succeeds, he will potentially save hundreds of lives. If not, he'll never see his daughter again, who was the very reason he ever set foot into the egregious game.
아빠가 미안해. 가영이 더 맛있는 거 사주려고 그랬는데.
It is entirely possible that his mantle will be taken up by another player who will lead Season 3. But for now, we're rooting for our favorite 아저씨. Sure, he doesn't really seem to have a solid plan other than trust me, but he'll figure it out as he goes, right? He's a little confused, but he's got the spirit.
456번. 나한테 뭘 원하지?
Number 2. The Brothers Hwang.
지원팀 좀 보내주세요.
뭐라고? 지원?
지원팀이요. 최소한 해경이랑 기동대함계 중대 이상으로요.
The show's creator presents us with the idea of hope in the sequel. Although that may take varied fanciful forms, perhaps the most tangible one will be Hwang Jun-ho, played by Wi Ha-jun. In the first installment, the detective is faced with the shocking revelation that his brother, Ino, is the frontman.
형.
가자.
To add insult to injury, Big Bro shoots him with what we assume was the intention to kill. That said, Jun-ho is returning this season, so he's obviously still alive and presumably quite mad. Perhaps the frontman shot him in just the right spot to make sure he lives. Maybe it was plot armor all along. Either way, the authorities are coming, and the Hwang siblings' reunion is going to be a tough one.
니들이 한 짓은 다 경찰에 보냈고 곧 여기로 해경이 도착할 거야.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. The staff unveiled. We're finally getting a look into the soldiers' side of the story.
저 배멀미 때문에 규칙을 잊었나? 상급자의 허가 없이 먼저 말하지 않는다. 선실로 올라가서 대기해.
Too close to home. The narrative will deal with issues relevant to today's youth.
내년엔 우리 다 같이 모여서 한 집에서 살게 될 거다. 누나 알지? 누나 약속한 걸 꼭 지키는 거.
No end in sight. Series creator Hwang Dong-hyuk fears an inescapable Squid Game IRL.
아직도 모르겠나? 세상에 맡기지 않는 한 게임은 끝나지 않아.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. 456 Again.
난 그 게임을 멈추려는 거야.
One of the most chilling moments in the Season 2 trailer is when Gi-hun finds himself in his 456 uniform again. The prisoner parallel rings truer than ever as the doomed reality dawns on him. Being number 456 implies he was the last to join once more. However, it's too glaring to be a coincidence, which tells us he is exactly where they want him to be.
투표는 여러분 가슴에 있는 번호의 역순으로 하겠습니다. 456번 투표해 주세요.
He's no longer sporting the blazing red hair we saw in the Season 1 finale. So some time must have passed since he volunteered, because getting a rematch could not have been child's play. The frontman isn't easy to crack, especially not after he explicitly warned him against returning. In conclusion, we know a death trap when we see one.
용서가 안 돼. 너희들이 하는 짓. 그 비행기를 타. 그게 당신한테 좋을 거야.
Which new Squid Game actor are you most excited to see in Season 2? Let us know in the comments.
456번. 허튼 생각하지 마.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.